Running on, running into the sun, but I'm running behind. Okay, I think we're on. Hello, everybody. This is Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. We're about to do Shaman-athon. 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 Hello. If you're wondering what the heck is a Shaman-athon, I am doing an extra little fundraiser. Basically, rent is due tomorrow, and I yet do not have completely the funds with which to pay. So instead of coming on and begging for money or asking for people to have pity on me, I thought, let's do something that is mutually beneficial. And so the way this works, hi Jennifer. Oh, thank you so very much. Thanks, Jennifer. I'm kind of still getting my wits about me because things are not exactly how I had planned them. So I need to be using, I am not very technical. And let's see, how am I going to do this? Let's do it this way. I apologize. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Woo! Alrighty, so thank you for joining me. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. And what we are doing today, I had my, I am like all over the place. There we go. So, what we are doing today is a Shaman-athon. And on one hand, it is a fundraiser for me. On the other hand, if you have ever wanted to work with me in particular, or a shaman in general, this is an opportunity to get a taste of what that is. So I have a tip jar with both PayPal and my Venmo links. And how this works, if you would like a reading, a healing, or a teaching, you can donate to one of those two places, and I will, every single person, no matter if it's $1 or $1,000 or more, get either a 3-card reading, a 5-minute energy healing, or ask a question that they've been wondering, like a spiritual or shamanic question they've been asking. I may do a little bit of journeying or something or whatever. But so you get a reading, a healing, or a teaching, no matter how much you give. Okay. I'm sorry I'm a little bit flustered. I'm going to try to fix that in a minute. Okay, so I got my email pulled up on my laptop next to me so that I can see if anyone else donates during this time. And I've got a couple people who have donated already. So just keeping track. I got like 3 people already who have donated. I'm going to just stay open to pay attention to see if anyone else. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set sacred space because that is going to help me to ground, recenter. am going to use. Normally, if you've ever watched my videos, I tend to use. I have 4 working drums, and I've got the one that I tend to use more than the others, but this is my original drum, that the first one I ever made. Her name is Cougar Moon. I miss her voice so much, and she was kind of getting lonely, so I thought I would use her to set our sacred space. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. So it's interesting because she looks like the moon, like the marking. It's an elk skin, and if you see these 2 slash marks, those are cougar claw marks. So the elk who gave its skin to make my drum actually survived a cougar attack. And so not only does it have the elk medicine from the skin, it's also got that cougar medicine in it. So anyway, I'm going to set sacred space, which means I am going to call in the elements and the spirits to come in and hold a higher vibrational energy around us, light and love, and in effect creating an energetic container that keeps things of a lower frequency out, and it helps us to focus on what we're doing. I liken it to cooking a meal, like when you have a pot and you put all the ingredients in it and you cover it and you put it on the heat. You're creating an artificial environment where things can happen, magical, alchemical things can happen that won't happen just sitting on the counter. And like when we set sacred space, set up a ceremonial space, that's the main reason we do that, is to create this energetic container where alchemical and magical things can happen. So spirits of the earth, spirits of the air, spirits of the fire, spirits of the water, spirits of the upper world, spirits of the lower world, compassionate spirits of the middle world, the Fae, the spirits of the land, the ancestors of the land. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for holding us in your love and your light. Alrighty. So, welcome. Thank you for joining me for my. I haven't done this for a couple of years. I did a few of them. A couple of years ago. I haven't done them for a couple of years, and I'm not sure if I still know what I'm doing, but we'll just go with it. If you don't know who I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. I've been doing shamanic work for nigh on 20-ish years, maybe not quite 20 years, but long time. And I've had many different teachers. I took classes with the Foundation of Shamanic Studies. Tom Cowan was one of my teachers, and a number of really good local shamanic teachers. But the main teacher that I've had for a while now, who I learned almost everything I know from, is Sandra Ingerman. So if you don't know who she is, she literally wrote the book on soul retrieval, and she has a podcast called The Shaman's Cave. So check that out on YouTube. She is my main teacher. But today we are going to do readings or healings or teachings. Oh my. So, wow. I am like in a weird space. Weird. Anyway, thank you to everyone who has already contributed. Thank you to everyone else for your generosity. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Try to keep a roof over my little kitty's head and food in her little tummy. And so all you need to do, if you would like a 3-card reading, a 5-minute energy healing, or, oh, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Yay. And I've got there's a tip jar connected to this video where I've got both my PayPal and my Venmo links. Anyone that gives anything on either of those 2 links gets a choice of a reading, a healing, or a teaching. So we're going to start out. I've got a few people that have already paid, sent in donations. I don't think they're here yet, but I'm also, if you gave and not able to see this live, I will, of course, repost it on my... I did, Jennifer, I did. I just saw it come in. Thank you. I will repost this on my Facebook page, of course, and I'm also going to upload it on my my YouTube channel. So, whoofta. All right. So our first reading, we're gonna if someone doesn't, if you don't designate which of those 3 choices you want, I'm just going to default to a reading. And so we're going to do a 3-card reading for Anna to start out with. And if you're not aware, on Monday nights, I actually do a 2-hour Monday mini Minutes card readings where the first 5 people who show up and say yes in the comments get a 1-card reading. And it's a lot of fun. And so if you enjoy this today, join us on Monday nights. What is going on? I'm kind of feeling a little off center. Maybe I just need to be hydrated. All right, so a 3-card reading for Anna. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it down here. You can see. So Anna, the 3 cards that came up for you were Crow, Owl in Reverse, and Badger. And what I'm getting from these 3, so you have been really busy between these 2. Like here you can see Crow looking at his shadow in the puddle. And Crow is about shadow work. One of the aspects of Crow is about shadow work. So you have been really like this, like Crow is seeing his shadow and recognizing it as the shadow. A lot of people see their reflection and they mistake their reflection for who they truly are. If it were reversed, it's like, wait, which one's real? Which one's the reflection, right? But you have been putting in a lot of time and energy to really sort out what is you and what is reflection, right? Because, like, you are the center of your world, right? And everything on the outer world is a reflection of you. But we get caught into the outside world. We start to try to define ourselves as this or that. And so it takes some effort, some energy, some time to really distinguish between what is truly us and what is a reflection of us, right? Does that make sense? Kind of like Wayne Dyer once talked about how when he was a professor at one point, and in his class, one of the assignments he gave his class was that they had to write like so many words, so many paragraphs telling who they are, but they could not use any labels. You couldn't say, I'm this, I'm a carpenter, I am an artist, I am a dancer, I am this, I am that. Because those are labels, those are names, that is the reflection, that's the expression of who you are in the outside world. And it's okay to have those, right? But it's like when we start to identify with that, we lose ourselves in that reflection. So we become kind of this codependent with ourselves in a way, because we're looking at our shadow, we're looking at the expression of us as who we truly are. And that just, it's not that you can't get anywhere that way, it just kind of gums up the works a bit. And so here it's like, this shows how much work you've done to really come to know who you are, your essence, the spirit of you, rather than the physical you, the ego, the personality, etc. You've really been getting in touch with that of who you really are. And with Badger over here, Badger just kind of exponentially like ramps it up, because Badger is about tenacity. Badger is like a little tank, and wherever he sets his sights, he is going to get there one way or another, whether he has to go around something, over something, under something, through something. He's going to get where he's going. He never gives up. And so it's this constant going forward, going forward, going forward. Kind of with this faith, this indomitable faith that he is going to arrive where he needs to arrive, right? And so between this gumption and this clearing, this discernment of who you are, so the thing is, when you mistake those labels, when you mistake the shadow for who you really are, then the shadow no longer becomes a resource from which to draw, right? The darkness is not evil. The shadow is not evil. The darkness is the womb of the cosmic mother. The darkness holds every potential. And so when we look at the shadow and we start to think, oh, that's us, and oh my God, we feel that emptiness with our beliefs and our thoughts and our identity if we don't know any better. And so that darkness becomes closed in, it becomes limiting, rather than being the wide open void that it really is, from which you can draw source, you can draw sustenance from. We go into the darkness to find the light. So you've got these going for you, and you've been going at it gung-ho for a long, long time, and it shows. And you made such great process, right? And we've got Owl in the center here in reverse. And I was just talking, I don't know if you saw, on Wednesday nights, I do a video, every week I do a video of my sacred pipe ceremony. Last night I was talking about this, like how you can have like professional students who never seem to graduate. They spend all their time in school learning more, or going to workshop after workshop after workshop, trying this modality and then that modality and that modality, but they never actually make it their own, right? They never actually apply it. Or healing, if you're constantly, I got to get healed, rather than realizing that you are already healed. And it's a matter of remembering the wholeness that's already there, right? You can run from doctor to doctor, practitioner to practitioner, but if you don't claim the healing, you just never get there. It becomes this constant running. So, and I'm saying that because this is like the outside actions. This is the work you've been doing on the outside. And here in the middle, in the heart of this reading, we have Owl, who is about embodying these things. Owl is kind of the application of all this work you've been doing, right? Owl is the heart. Owl, in a way, is the divine feminine, right? The moon is her light source, right? As with Eagle is the king of the sun, the king of the day. Owl is the queen of the moon, the queen of the night. And so all this stuff I was talking about, the shadow, now that you've done this work to discern what's real and what's not, what's in motion, what is malleable, and what is whole, what is solid, Owl is coming along to help you dive into that darkness, right? To see with your heart and to apply all the things that you've been learning that maybe mostly have been kind of mental practices, mental exercises. This is about actually going, look at, she's got her talons are out, she's ready to grab her prey. And it's like, it's time to stop you've progressed beyond. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's not that you've outgrown this. This is something that is constant and that will keep going, but it just keeps leveling up on different layers. But it's at a point right now where it's time to reach out and claim everything you've been working toward right now. And to do it with the heart, to see it, rather than thinking your way forward, feeling your way forward. Use the force. Reach out with your feelings, right? And there might be a little trepidation here. It's like sometimes we get so used to the learning and the surface activities that it can be a little intimidating or daunting to actually let go of the motion and the process to actually become what we are aiming for. So it's time to claim. It's like an owl, owl is apex predator. Like I said, she is queen of the night. She is also the only bird that is totally silent in her flight. In other words, do what you need to do. You don't need to ask permission. You don't have to justify. You don't have to ask opinions, get a quorum of people to see what the pros and the cons. This is about taking everything you've learned up to this point and applying it and going for it. This is like the Fool's card, right? In the Tarot, that stepping off the cliff. It can be scary as hell, but you're safe, right? Like, be like the bird who pauses in her flight with on a branch so slight that it gives way beneath her, yet sings, knowing she has wings, yet sings, knowing she has wings. It's a time for spreading those wings, trusting those wings, trusting all this stuff that you've been doing, all the work you've done up to this point, knowing that, like, look at this, these are the wings, right? And you're in the middle going, I don't know if I can fly. But you've built the wings. You've got the wings. They're right there. It's just a matter of engaging them, okay? Again, you don't need to justify. You don't need to ask permission. Your heart is your authority. Your heart knows what is best for you. Trust it. You've done all this work, and it's time to start trusting what you've learned and to actually become those lessons, right? So, that is our first reading for Anna. I hope that makes sense. Oh, good. Hi, Esperanza. I haven't seen you for so long. So for anyone that is just joining us, we are doing a Shaman-athon. 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 I just grabbed my capybara because he was the only one that was within reach. What that means, it's an open donation. I have my PayPal and Venmo links in the tip jar, and anyone within this time, we've got an hour and a half left till 4 o'clock, anyone that donates any amount of money from $1 to 1,000 to 1,000,000, whatever, gets either a 3-card reading, a 5-minute energy healing, or a teaching. Like, you get to ask a question. If you have some spiritual question that has always bothered you or kept you enthralled or whatever, this is your opportunity to ask. So, and hi, Church of the Moon, yay, sunshine. I was just about to do so. If you donate and don't distinguish which of those 3 choices you would like, I'm just going to default to a reading. And Sunshine, you are actually next on my list. I'm assuming that's you. So I was just going to do a 3-card reading, if that's cool with you. Running on empty, running on, running blind, running on, running into the sun. Let me make sure that no one else has come on. Awesome. Okay, so Sunshine, a 3-card reading. And I am so grateful to everyone who has donated so far. It's like people's kindness just humbles me. Especially people that I've just met that I hardly know, or people that I don't even know. It's crazy. So I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. We'll see if we can keep a roof over little Kira's head and food in her tummy. Where is she? I thought she was right here. But all right, sunshine. Okay. So, I'm going to tip my phone down again so you can see the cards. These are the 3 cards that came up for you. So, interestingly, so out of 3 cards, they're all facing the same way, right? They're reversed because it's from your perspective, but at the same time, the fact that they are all facing the same direction is pretty profound. It's like beyond the law of averages, there should be at least 1 card facing the other way. And so when that happens, when we get all the cards facing the same way, to me it's kind of a thumbs up from the universe without even getting into the context of the cards. But so just to let you, like, if I was doing a full spread, it looks like this. So there's like 2 more cards, and so sometimes it depends on my intuition. Like sometimes it's past, present, future kind of thing, and sometimes it's like it's this cross beam in this like this is like a medicine wheel where it's east, south, west, and north. Which may be reversed as you're watching this because my phone is on the mirror setting or something. But so this is like east and west, or air and water, meaning mental, emotional, or masculine, feminine. And this is heart, this is spirit. And that's kind of the way I'm seeing it, like as if this is like the cross section of that medicine wheel spread. So it's like here in the east, air, the mental realm, we have possum in reverse. And so like your thoughts, your beliefs, possum is of course the actor of the animal kingdom, right? When you play possum, you play dead. And possum is so good at that she basically goes into a trance, and she actually starts emitting the smell of decay from her glands and such. So it's like this really powerful act, but it is just an act, right? And so when possum comes up, it's about, okay, wait, before I go on to that other aspect, so possum, okay, give me a second, I'm getting off on different tangents. Let me continue on the track I was on. So this is the recognition that this world, like Shakespeare said, the world is a stage and each of us must play a part, right? It's recognizing that on some level this world is an illusion, right? And that the physical being, the personality, the ego that is in this world is not who you truly are, right? This is that recognition that you are playing a part, that in your essence, like Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say, you are a spirit having a human experience, not a human having a spiritual experience. And so you're playing a part, but like in theater, or like in Shakespeare when they do a soliloquy, right? When the character is basically speaking to the audience. They call that, breaking the fourth wall, because from the character's point of view, they are in a box, right? There's four walls, but as you're watching the stage, right, it's like we are the fourth wall. That there's an invisible wall there, almost like in an interrogation room, right, where you can be standing behind the mirror. The people in the room just see a mirror, see a wall, but there are others on the other side of the wall. There's a bigger reality on the outside of that room. And so Possum brings along that realization of the illusionary reality of that fourth wall. In other words, to draw on the spiritual, to draw on the greater identity of you, the greater essence of you, your higher self, your true self, however you want to put that. And so there's a thing with Possum in reverse. It's kind of about not getting caught into the dramas of the world, realizing that you are the hero of your story, right? Everyone else in the world is a supporting character, but you are the star. You are the center of your personal play. And so, okay, give me a second. Oh God, the guys are trying to say something to me, and remember that you are the center, you are the priority of your life, that everyone else is the center of their reality, that is their play, that is their movie, that is their production. Kind of like if you've ever seen Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. It's basically Hamlet. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Hamlet's best friends, and they only appear in the play in certain areas, but they did this whole movie where instead of Hamlet being the center of the action, it follows Rosencrantz and Guildenstern on their path and how it intersects with the play, where it intersects with Hamlet. It's really interesting. And so, in other words, you can focus on what is your purpose, what is your meaning, what is your plot, what is your goals. Take everyone else out of the picture and focus on your life as though you were writing it, because you are. On some level, you are the director, the writer, the casting director, etc., etc. But everything revolves around you. Does that make sense? And part of one of the things I like about that with Possum is that the fact that Possum is immune to all kinds of toxins and venoms. I read that it would take like 80 some bites by a rattlesnake before Possum would start to feel it. And if you think about that as, being like when you recognize that you're an actor, you're in the world, not of the world, then there's like very little in the world that can actually harm you. All the little stings and things that other people do or send at you or try to, topple you or whatever, if you realize that you are the writer of your story, that you are the center, that you are more than just this character you're playing, then none of those things, the slings and arrows, there's no place for them to come. There's no place for them to find impact on you because this isn't who you truly are. Does that make sense? The other thing about not getting caught into the drama of the world is learning when to say no. You are under no obligation to follow anybody else's plot line. You're not under any obligation to continue reading the script as it is written. Every moment is the opportunity for improv. Every moment is the opportunity to be present rather than going through the motions. You say something, someone responds, either A, B, or C, and depending on what their answer is, you reply with A, B, or C, and it becomes this thing by rote. It becomes like not fully present, just kind of automatically on pilot mode. But this is the opportunity to really be present, and when someone asks you a question, to actually take it in and respond rather than react. And the benefit of that is not only do you help yourself to remain present in those moments, by going off script, you kind of you create the need for that other person to go off script, because, well, you say something and meanwhile they're paging through their script. Where is it? Where are we? I don't know. I don't know where that question is. What am I supposed to respond? So they have to close their script and respond to you from the heart as well. So not only is this beneficial to you, it is beneficial to everybody around you, right? And because you are the star of the show, you get to decide who you respond to and who you don't, right? You can play dead. It's like, we're not talking about that. That is not negotiable. We are not, if you want to speak about that, I'm leaving. I'm dead to you. I'm dead. We're not going there. That subject is dead, right? And we used to, and I'm in the SCA, and we had this in-joke many years ago about, like, see this? This is the map that we didn't buy because we're not going there. So it's really that coming into present, realizing that there is so much more to reality than what we can see, feel, or taste, or hear, and really allowing the truth of that to really when you realize that, then you can step a little bit more out of your comfort zone. You can try it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna take this step outside the comfort zone. I'm gonna trust the universe to have my back. Oh wow, that really worked. And it gives you the opportunity to continue to do that kind of thing, right? And if we jump over to the west is water, so that's the emotional realm, the kind of the feminine side of things. And what's interesting, so we've got Possum here, the star of the show, in the spotlight, right? Over here in the feminine, we have Black Panther, the dark, right? So Black Panther is about embracing the unknown. So these three together is basically, the reason they're in reverse is because it's like you're on this threshold. You're on the brink of a whole new story. And number one, to not take yourself too seriously. To trust that it is going to work out. And that's what this is the mental, so this is thoughts and beliefs about what's happening. Black Panther is about embracing the unknown. Black Panther is that sense of adventure. I always call it the expectant curiosity. You expect things to happen, but there's this luscious longing, right? You don't know how it's going to manifest. You don't know what's going to happen, but you know it's going to work out. And so by not trying to control the future, not trying to control the unknown, and make sure it follows a certain pattern, this gives you the freedom to be open, to receive what happens, to receive the breadcrumbs to guide you to your highest and best outcome, right? I always think of Black Panther as the embodiment of that saying of as above, so below, right? Because Black Panther in her black, velvety, shimmering blue-black coat kind of mirrors the night sky with the stars, that black, velvety nighttime, what we think of when we think of infinity, right? So she's the microcosm in the macrocosm. She is the as below part. And again, it mirrors this so well because this is that remembering that you are the center of the adventure. That it's like when Black Panther comes up, it always makes me think of the universe as a giant GPS system, right? Basic law of attraction, basic manifesting, right? You put in, you set your intentions, you feel what you want, you focus on the outcome of what you want, and then you let it go, right? Just as in a GPS, you put in your destination, where you want to go, and then you let go and you trust the GPS to guide you step by step by step how to get there, right? And just like a GPS, if if Spirit says to go left and you turn right, there's no judgment. It's just rerouting, and it will bring you back to center. And it will find the easiest, smoothest, quickest way to go. That said, sometimes you have to go through some kind of shady neighborhoods, right, to get the experience to become who you need to be to accept whatever that outcome is. But when you put that destination into the GPS, when you set your intentions and expect the best, you can trust that the best is what is going to happen. And that everything that happens from that point forward until the manifestation of what you're seeking, every step is a step in that direction. Even if it feels like you're going backwards. One of my guides a long time ago told me there is no reverse on your spiritual pedometer. Every step is a step forward. So trust the unknown. Trust that there are better outcomes than you can imagine. There are better things than you can conceive of. So don't people this darkness, this emptiness with what you already know. Stay open to, because the universe has such vast resources and knows exactly what things need to come together in order for you to realize that end game. So trust the universe to unfold. Keep the faith. Don't give up. And trust that there's more going on than you can see. Like you might, like just like on a TV, like you see the kitchen scene, you see them on the kitchen. Meanwhile, you realize that there are cameras out here, that there's an audience out here, that, there's someone directing, there's someone with the cue cards. That life is not exactly how it seems, right? Then we get to the heart of it, the spirit card, the center card. And we have squirrel in reverse. And squirrel to me is kind of opposite what we think of. Like when you hear that phrase, people squirreling things away, right? It kind of brings on this sense of having to work hard and store things away now for that day of hunger, etc., right? Like living, like giving up the joy of now to make sure we're prepared for that inevitable day when we won't have enough to eat or whatever. It's actually the reverse of that. Squirrel, again, like I mentioned here, is about present, about being present, about being in the moment and accepting what you find. Like I was talking about the breadcrumbs here. Squirrel is about seeing the biggest acorn that they ever saw, reaching out with open arms to receive that, like, oh my God, that is such a great acorn. Thank you, universe. And then what do? They don't, if their arms are full, they can't pick up another acorn, right? So they bury it. They return it to the earth. They set the destination and then they let go and allow the universe to guide them. And so they welcome it in with gratitude and they release it so that their arms are open and ready to receive the next blessing. And so in a way, like buffalo is about abundance, but in a way squirrel is about abundance too. But whereas buffalo is like one-stop shopping, like providing everything that the Plains Indians needed, food, shelter, clothing, tools, everything they needed. Squirrel is about staying present, knowing that in the bigger picture they are always taken care of, that there are always enough nuts, there are always enough berries, there are always enough resources for them so they can play. It's not that they squander things because of the abundance, it's like they appreciate the abundance, and because they know they're always taken care of, they know there's always enough for them, they can play and enjoy themselves because the universe has their back, right? And so by staying present, receiving with joy that big old acorn, and then burying it, come that cold winter day when they're hungry, they can be like, oh my God, there's that great big acorn that I buried over there. I'm going to go eat it now. So rather than sacrificing one moment for the fulfillment of another moment, by staying present, receiving with gratitude, and releasing that gift, present in that moment, every moment after that, they are taken care of. Does that make sense? It's like every time, every blessing you receive, every blessing you acknowledge, kind of goes into, it's like putting a deposit in the bank or something. And come those times when things seem scarce, when things seem like there's not enough, how am I going to get through it? You have this whole, Roth IRA or something of all this energy and resources that you've been contributing to your entire life. And then when it comes time, you withdraw that so that you can live a fulfilling moment in your now. Like I said, like the fact that these are all the same, facing the same way, to me means you're in the right place at the right time. It means that there are so many surprises and gifts and blessings coming to you. Don't worry about the long term. Focus on what's coming. Set that, you can set that destination in your cosmic GPS. What is it that you want? Where do you want to be? Who do you want to become? Etc., etc. Like the long game, but then keep your options open. Keep open to that fourth wall. Take down that fourth wall so that you can see the other resources coming from the unseen realms, right? So that you are open to receiving all the blessings you need, that abundance, so that you know that you are always taken care of. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Oh, Sabia's here. Yay! So, that was for sunshine. I'm going to look and see if I've got any more in the meantime. Oh, Sylvia. Thank you. Okay. So I have one more, but I don't think that person is actually watching yet. So Jennifer, if you are still here, since you paid for a healing, I will do that now. I don't want to put that off too long, so that if you're here, I can actually do that, so that you don't, you can get to whatever else you're doing today, right? Okay, so, and anyone else who is not Jennifer, so I'm gonna do basically Reiki. I might do, depending on what my guides tell me, I might do some other little shamanic extractions or other things, whatever. But for the most part, I become the channel for Reiki. The Reiki energy is basically universal energy, okay? And it comes through me, and it's conscious energy. It knows where to go. It knows what to do. And so even if you're not Jennifer and you're watching this, you may benefit from watching this next part. The energy might seek you out, and you might feel a little better or whatever too. You might, when a friend of mine does a form of energy healing called Jore, which started from the same roots of Reiki, and then Reiki went one way and Jore went the other way. But when they do Jore sessions, like they're doing it toward a certain person, but they always have, like, you always have permission to come and sit next to the person who's receiving Jore, because the excess energy can benefit you. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, just because you're not Jennifer, you may find benefit in this part. So, all right. So Jennifer, if you are ready. Just relax and close your eyes or leave them open, whatever is comfortable, and lay down, stay sitting. you felt that, Jennifer. That was powerful. Wow. Awesome. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that. Okay. Oofda. So reading space and healing space are two different spaces. So give me a moment to kind of come back. Oofda. Some water will help. Looking to see it. I think the heat, normally I'm a little more lively and stuff, but I feel like maybe the heat is affecting me, and the air quality is not the best right now because of the wildfires and such. But okay, Sylvia, would you like, you can let me know if you want, would you like a reading? I don't think you said. A reading or a healing or a question that you would like answered? Card reading. Okay, got it. Card reading for Sylvia. All right, Sylvia. These are your cards. So for you, Sylvia, the 3 cards, I'm feeling like it's more of a progression, like a past, present, future kind of thing. Again, they're from your perspective. So the first 2 are reversed. The last one is upright, which is good when you have a past, present, future. So the future is bright. And so in that context, starting out with squirrel in the past, and this will be interesting because, like, I try to instill in people the idea that, you know, spirit animals are not. It's not like a dictionary, like they have all those dream dictionaries where, okay, this means this means that, you know, a squirrel means this, swan means that. But like we just had squirrel in the other reading, and in this reading it's like something else. It's like it's really learning to listen to the message of the spirit of that animal, because the different animals say different things for different people. The messages, I could have the same cards show up for 10 different people, and it would be 10 totally different, separate readings. So here, in the context of the past, with Squirrel in Reverse, it kind of speaks to, like, Squirrel in Reverse, like I was just talking about Squirrel as kind of a sign of abundance and being present and all of those things. But in the past, with Squirrel in Reverse, it kind of speaks of scarcity, right? Not enough, not enough nourishment on so many different levels. It's almost like a fish out of water kind of feeling to me. It's like raising a squirrel in the desert or something, right? A squirrel needs forests, but if you take the squirrel out of the forest and put it in a desert, they're going to starve, they're going to be skinny, they're going to be thirsty. It's kind of that feeling, like your past has been a series of those kind of experiences of being that seemingly outside of your element, not given what you truly need to nurture yourself, not given just finding scarcity. Of course, okay, how do I put this? This can be kind of a touchy thing. We're talking about childhood memories and different things like that. Gosh, this is one of the hardest kind of parts of my job. But it's like, even though it seemed you have had a very hard life. Let me just say that. And I don't mean this next part to take away anything from any experiences you've had, the difficulty, the starvation, whether it's, physical, emotional, mental, etc. Gosh, how do I put this into words? There's purpose in this. And it's really, it's hard to say these things as a reader, because it's like, it's so easy to be misconstrued. Like, oh, it's your own fault. Oh, you're playing the victim and you need to pick yourself up by the bootstraps, blah, blah, blah. That is not what I'm saying. You've had a hard life, and and I don't mean this to be like a, grass is always greener kind of thing, or every cloud has a silver lining. I don't want to detract from the difficulty of your life in any fashion. I validate the pain that you've experienced. I validate the traumas and the pain that you are still feeling as a result of all of this. And as we move into the present, we have Swan, which is about grace, which is about surrender. This is kind of like the ugly duckling story, right? That it's like you've come from this past to this present, but here in the present, the feeling of awkwardness, of not fitting in, of not, maybe not even belonging in this world, are not, gosh, you are starting to put things together. You are starting in the present, you're taking all of these other things and putting them together. Right now it's kind of like still in that ugly duckling state where it doesn't make sense. You feel clumsy or awkward and like the world isn't working in your favor and you don't belong here and you can't figure out the rules and you can't figure out the puzzles of all the things going on around you. But in the present, you are able to start finding grace. You're able to start feeling, if you don't see the purpose, still beginning to trust the possibility that there is purpose, that this is all leading to something. Like I've talked before about I've got a number of different like craft projects kind of things like this, where I've got the eagle feathers, where every time this is a bison rib bow. It's traditionally it's a ceremonial dancing medicine object, and I made this one to represent my business, Perching Wolf Studios. But I also, like, every time I've hit a challenge or a turning point in my business, when I've had to make a choice or a decision, or I face some new challenge, I've given myself a feather, an eagle feather, fake eagle feathers, to hang on here to show me, rather than how weak and vulnerable I am, how much I've been being pelted by the unfair world, I'm showing how much strength I have, how many things that I have survived. My wings are starting to fill out to the point where I can become flight worthy. And so every little thing that you are facing, rather than taking away from you in that scarcity mode, is actually adding strength and knowledge and wisdom to you, as even though you might not see where it is leading, there is a purpose that is there, and that all of those things are adding to your strength, adding to your illumination. And with swan, I always say, like swans are meant to be seen. They heal by their presence, right? It's like, I don't know anyone who sees a swan is like, ew, get it away from me, right? Swans are awe-inspiring. They inspire people. All of the ugly, clumsy, awkward, not fitting in things have all produced this beautiful, angelic, pure white bird that is awe-inspiring to see. When you see a swan, it lifts you, right? And so all the things that you're going through right now is like another feather in your wings. And that in other words, what I'm trying to get at is that everything you're going through right now is, how do I put this? It's helping you find your way back to who you are meant to be. This is like destiny. This is like fulfilling your destiny, becoming your angelic self. Every challenge, every misstep, every victory, becomes more to what helps you to fly. And so it's about you finding your own way. And as a side effect of you finding your way, you help others around you. You are meant to be seen. You are meant to not your job is not to go out and heal people, to go out and fix things for people. Your job is to be beautifully your true ideal self. And just in that presence of purity and integrity and wholeness, you inspire others around you to find that purity within themselves. So just by being present, that light that just exudes from you helps to lift other people, and you give other people hope by turning these struggles into something palatable. And moving into the future, we have Fox, the little ninja of the world, the animal kingdom, which is interesting after what I just said about how you are meant to be seen. When Fox's secret superpower is to not be seen. Fox is like the wind. It's like learning from observing, watching without being seen. The trick is, this is like transmuting. This is like alchemy, taking all of this stuff from the past when you were unseen, when you weren't fed, when you weren't nourished, etc., on all these different levels, and transmuting that into the place of using that invisibility, not needing as much things in order to be seen when you need to be seen, and disappearing when you need to disappear. In other words, I like to think of Fox, they're closely related to Wolf, and Wolf is the teacher. And in a way, Fox is a teacher too. I think of Fox as doing that Bruce Lee thing, right? That's like, don't mistake the finger pointing at the moon for the moon itself, right? So Fox, in his wisdom, seeing the illusion of life, knowing the illusion, utilizing the illusion for his highest good, being basically untrappable, being invisible. They can disappear while you're looking at them. They can lay false trails. They can backtrack, which is why fox hunts have been so popular for so long. It's like it's very difficult to catch fox because they're cunning. They not only think outside the box. When it comes to fox, there is no box. It's like, it's this crazy, like that Seal song about, if we're going to survive, we got to be a little bit crazy, right? It's like seeing things that other people don't because of that not fitting in, because of that invisibility. You have gained insights and perspectives, and you're able to see things that other people don't. Other people who were in that rigmarole of duty and the rat race and that constant hamster wheel spinning and so that they weren't able to look around and to see the bigger picture. But because you were not part of that so much, you got to see the background, like what is behind all of that, what is the bigger picture. And it's partially because of that vision that you didn't fit in. And now, besides seeing that bigger picture, you see through it. You're coming to the point where, kind of like Possum, I was just talking about Possum earlier, how there is a seeing through the illusion of life. But not only, it's like Fox is magic. I shouldn't be generalizing, I shouldn't be absolute, but pretty much every culture that involves Fox, that has foxes in their mythology or their lore or whatever, Fox is magical. Fox is the magician. He can make things appear, he can make things disappear, he can make things seem like other things. He's a shapeshifter. Which comes from knowing the illusion so well that he can utilize it for his own purposes. And so like the teaching thing I was mentioning, it's like the squirrel come up and like, hey, look at that, and causes you to look at something, and then he disappears, leaving that person the only one present to be able to take credit for seeing or learning whatever that was that he was pointing at. And so it's like storytellers and visionaries and artists making the possible futures visible to others, because they can journey there. They can see what's in the future. They can see the possibilities, and they can bring those back in the form of stories, of art, of music, that again inspire others. And so there's this craftiness, these things are like, there's kind of a pain, there's kind of a suffering from not fitting in, at least initially, coming to the point of Fox where you can't fit in, but that's your superpower, because you see there's no place to fit into. Does that make sense? You're part of the whole. You're part of the hologram. And the hologram itself is an illusion, which leads you back to your essential self, that part that is spirit having a human experience, not a human having a spiritual experience. In other words, everything that has happened, good or bad, actually is leading somewhere. That's not to take away any of the pain, any of the suffering, anything to invalidate any experiences. But at some point, there will come a time of fulfillment, of I don't want to put it as like a reward, like you earned this, like the suffering was necessary to earn this or anything. It's just that all of this will pay off and come to a point where everything is going to work out better than you can imagine right now. Does that make sense? And you have unseen resources, unseen by others. But if you look at those eyes of Fox, Fox, even though they're a canine, they have cat eyes. They see the unseen. They see through the illusion. And so they have other resources. They have spirits. They know how to work with the spirits. They have spirits. They have unseen help that others aren't aware of. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that is helpful. Foxy lady. I can say that because we're dating. Just for people who don't know. All right. Let me check again and see if anyone else has come on. So I have one more, which actually is probably perfect timing. So I have one more person that paid in advance. So we're going to do a 3-card reading for her, for Malia. All right. If you're watching this on replay and you still would like to donate, I am more than happy to accept anything that you wish to give. And if you put, so if you, I'm going to leave it open today the 6th, tomorrow the 7th. Maybe I'll extend it to the 8th on Saturday. But if you contribute anything to my Venmo or PayPal in that time frame, and in the notes say Shaman-athon, I will be greatly appreciative of that, number one. Number two, you don't need to get a reading or anything. If you want to just donate, that is fine too. But anyone that does donate, I will reach out and see, and I will give you, we'll set up, we can set up like a one-on-one session to do either reading, healing, or teaching. That way we can keep it open, so that if you're watching this on replay in the next couple of days, you're like, oh shoot, I would have liked to have given, then I will leave it open until Saturday. So, and again, I am so grateful. I thank you for your kindness in advance. All right, so this will probably be our last reading of the afternoon. Took one shower today. I'm probably going to need to take another one. I'm sweating. It's so hot. Okay, so we do a 3-card reading for Malia. So, Malia, even though I know you're not here during the live, I will send you the link so that you can see it. These are your cards. All right, this is gonna, like I mentioned before, when I do a 3-card reading, I have to like on a case by case thing. I need to like see whether it's a past, present, future like the last reading was, or if it's like Otherwise, the other thing that happens is like, it's like heart, it's like this is like east and west, air and water, mental and emotional, masculine, feminine. Because if you were to come to me for a full reading, it would look like this. There's like two other cards, so it's kind of like the cross section. It's like east, south, west, and north when I do a full reading. So this seems to be kind of a cross section where it's east and west and center. So in the east, air, the mental realm, we have wolf in reverse. This is from your point of view. And so we have wolf in reverse. And it's interesting that it's in the mental realm, the masculine side, basically, because canines tend to be seen as masculine, whereas cats tend to be seen as feminine. So we have wolf, and wolf is about community. Wolf is about the family. And wolf is about how everything benefits the community. Every wolf, everything that each of the wolves do individually affects and supports the entire pack. And I mentioned just a bit ago with Fox how I mentioned wolf being the teacher. And the reason for that is that the wolf packs always have scouts that go out ahead of the pack. They scout things out. They get the lay of the land. They find out where are the best hunting grounds. They find out where is the best place to ford the stream, etc., to get what it looks like ahead, and then to come back and educate the rest of the pack of what lies ahead. And so you are a teacher. I know it's in reverse, but reverse is never bad. It's kind of like when I do a reading, the reverse cards tend to be things that, like, they wouldn't be here if you didn't have these energies as support, right? They wouldn't show up. If you didn't have it, it wouldn't show up. So it's more like these are things that are kind of in the wings, that haven't blossomed yet, like seeds that have been planted. And so there's this element of being the teacher, of going places that others are afraid to go, going places where others might not even think about going. And giving others the benefit of your experience, the benefit of your wisdom as to what to expect in the future or how to approach things, how not to get carried away by the current in the river, etc., etc. And in reverse is I think it's kind of a part of being the mental realm, being it's like your thoughts and your beliefs, and it's like not realizing how powerful you are, how beneficial your wisdom, your experiences are. Just like here, you're meant to howl, right? You're meant to share your wisdom. You're meant to teach others, and you have more wisdom, you have more experience than you think you do. And I don't know if you're a writer or anything. I feel like there might be a book in your future sharing, like howling at the moon, right? Sharing your experiences. And like, you may not even realize the value of them until you share them. So there's something here that needs to be expressed, the wisdom. And because when we stay in our own little worlds, our own little minds, right, we get kind of insular, and we can't see how we relate to the bigger world, or what we know or what we do. We just, it's kind of like, we think that, well, everybody else knows better than I do. Everyone else already knows this stuff, like me as a shaman. It never occurs to me that other people don't talk to their guides all the time, or that, all these little things that are just normal, like finding feathers or finding bones, or whatever it is, isn't everybody's life like that? And so it's by sharing your life that, so Wolf kind of demonstrates this perfect balance of masculine and feminine, right? Wolf is like the physical manifestation of the magic of Grandmother Moon, the divine feminine. Wolf gets his power from the moon. And so there's this power in sharing that is actually reaching into that feminine and giving voice to that power, giving voice to that balance. And in so doing, giving others, how do I put this? It's just, I'm seeing this image, I'm hearing it actually. Like putting out your voice, you're giving the benchmark for others to harmonize with you. By raising your voice, you're giving others, number one, permission to find their song, to raise their voice, and to harmonize with you, to create this mosaic of sound that didn't exist before you created it, before the co-creation of you and the community. Okay? If we jump across to the west, to the emotional realm, the feminine side, we have Deer in reverse, and Deer is about compassion. Deer is about grace. And mostly it's about compassion for yourself, okay? And there's a story I love to tell about Deer. So one day, Great Spirit was on top of his mountain. It was such a glorious day. He wanted to celebrate. So he invited all the woodland creatures to the top of the mountain to celebrate life with him. But at the base of his mountain, there lived a troll. And all the animals, all of the woodland creatures were afraid of this troll. So no one took him up on his invitation, other than Deer, who in her innocence and her excitement to party with the Great Spirit comes bounding up to the mountain. And as she gets to the foot of the mountain, the troll jumps out and roars in her face. Deer, rather than rearing up to fight or running away in fear, just looked at him and kind of cocked her head a little bit with those big Bambi eyes, looked at him and asked, "Why are you in so much pain? What did someone do to cause you so much hurt? How did somebody hurt you so much?" And the troll, who thrived on conflict and resistance, found none of that in Deer. So he just melted away. And so Deer, by doing the namaste thing, right, seeing through the facade to the heart of this fellow being who, like, the divine in me sees the divine in you, by seeing that deep within them rather than just the facade that was being presented, she freed the troll from that pain and from that hurt. And also, in doing so, opened the doorway for all the other animals to approach Great Spirit. So rather than by beating the enemy into submission, she benefited everybody through compassion, through true seeing, seeing through the eyes of a child, that the eyes of wonderment, the eyes like Zen mind, beginner's mind, right? Seeing things as brand new, without any judgments, without any preconceptions. So she was able to see without filters what was truly before her. And to apply that to yourself, right? When the old demons come up, when the old issues come up, to look at those rather than as enemies trying to defeat you, as younger parts of you that were traumatized, and to look at that child who is in front of you in pain and putting on this facade of strength, or yelling or whatever it is, and to be able to embrace that younger part of you, to say you are safe, you can feel that, it's okay. And by seeing through that pain and that trauma of what someone else caused and that you weren't allowed to feel, you free those parts of you and you open your own way to be able to approach the spirit within you. And then when we move to the center card, the spirit card, the heart card, we have Otter. And Otter is basically the presence of the divine feminine. It's interesting that we've got the masculine and the feminine here, this compassion and this strength and fulfillment of vision, which comes from the divine feminine, right? And Otter is, again, about community. Everything that affects each member affects the complete community. My Sandra Ingerman, who I learned so many things from, who I've trained with, who taught me soul retrieval, actually mentioned in one of our workshops that when she was doing soul retrieval for clients, before they even arrive, she can tell, because she has this really long driveway, she could always tell if the client was like Caucasian or if they were native. Because if they were Caucasian, it would just be this one lone vehicle coming up her driveway. But if they were native, there were vehicles. There would be a horde of vehicles coming up her driveway, because they understood that the healing of one person is the healing of the community, and vice versa. So one's person healing is the concern of the community. And so every healing step you take heals the community, whether it's the present community or even reaching back in time to the ancestors. You heal everybody in your sphere. And Otter is, there are no hard edges to Otter's world. Everything is in spirals. Everything is in curves. Everything is in circles. She is like an embodiment of the river itself. She flows. And she doesn't make right angles. She doesn't make right turns. She curves and she spirals. And this grace, I've been talking about grace, right? Everything in her world she approaches with grace, and everything, even challenges, become a game, right? That is what otters are. One of the things otters are most known for is playing. Everything is a game. Everything is play. Everything is fun. Everything is joyful. And I always use the example of like the New York Times crossword puzzle, right? They don't start with the questions and figure out the answers and then publish the puzzle in the paper. They figure out the answers first, and they create the questions and the challenge, the problems around the answers. In other words, if there are questions and challenges and problems, there is automatically an answer. And so from Otter's perspective, any challenge that arises, there is automatically a solution. There is a resolution. And it can be found through play, through joy. It can be seen as a brand new experience. Okay, let's see how this works. Whoop, that didn't work so well. Let's try this way. Okay, that worked better. So there's this playfulness, innocence, right? All three cards for you have this element of innocence and purity. Even Wolf, I always like to talk about my inner puppy, right? It's like Wolf has this inner puppy, even though they're this, fierce creature, guardian of the woods, whatever. They are still given the opportunity. They will play and roll with the puppies, right? And there's this playfulness, this innocence and purity to all of these. And that's kind of why this is at the heart. At the heart of you is this indomitable purity, this wild innocence, which is your superpower, is your strength. And it's a matter of bringing this out into the world, and sharing it, realizing that you are a valued member of your community, that you really do have gifts to share. You have stories to tell. You have things that nobody else knows. You've experienced things that no one else has ever experienced. So by sharing your wisdom, your experiences, you can only benefit the greater community. Okay? Oofda. Okay. So, hello everybody. I don't know how many people are watching. I'm going to check and see if I've gotten any more notices, if anyone else has contributed. Looks like that's it, and that is about the time that I allocated for this time, because if you don't know, if you enjoyed this and you would like more of it, every Monday night from 6 to 8 Pacific time, I do Monday mini medicine card readings using the medicine card deck. The first 5 people to say yes in the comments get a 1 card reading, and then at the end I take those 5 cards in that medicine wheel spread I mentioned and do a reading for the community. Where was I going? I was telling, oh, no, wait. I am all over the place today. I apologize. But you are welcome to join us any Monday night for that. I was saying that for a reason. And if you would like a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can visit my website, perchainwolfstudios.net. You can learn more about me. You can see all the different shamanic services I offer, readings and healings and teachings, oh my. All of which, well, got kind of a sampling of those today. And we could, if you more prefer one-on-one, you can set up a session with me right from my website. And again, I'm gonna leave it open till Saturday. If you're watching this on replay and like, oh, I wish I would have gotten in on that, you still have an opportunity until Saturday. What is Saturday? The 8th. Oh, Lionsgate. And if you send me any donation, any amount, and put Shaman-athon in the notes, then I will. You can give without expecting anything, but if you do give, I will connect with you and see, offer you one of those three choices: the reading, the 3-card reading, the 5-minute energy healing, or a teaching, a question, answering any spiritual questions you might have. A question. I need to. So, thank you for everyone who has already given. Thank you to all of those. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Thank you for helping me to keep a roof over my kitty's head and food in her tummy. I so appreciate it. And I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for taking part. I appreciate every one of you, and until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. Have a wonderful day. Go shining. All right. Bye now.